That's my spare pencil, I guarantee you. Oh yeah, they put a monitor in here. I used to be able to keep that pencil right there.
You hide one underneath? That's smart.
Well, and I forgot. You know, you forget your pen or something.
Yeah.
Pencil to make my notes. Yep. We got new boards now. Brand new screen.
Yeah, Larry was showing me those different.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the Putnam County Board of County Commissioners meeting for November 26, 2019. I'd like to welcome everybody here this morning. Is Pastor Chumley in the audience today? Okay, I didn't think so. So we'll begin our meeting. Commissioner Harvey will do the invocation, and Commissioner Goddard would lead us in the pledge. Before we stand, I would just like to mention that tomorrow will be 1 year that we lost our clerk to the board, Miss Tony Weaver, to a battle with cancer. So Larry, if you would start with just a moment of silence in honor of Tony, and to welcome Sarah Oliver for being with us for 1 year. And she has been a blessing. We lost a great member of our team in Tony, but Sarah has filled in and has been a blessing to have with us. So if you'll please stand.
If you will, join me in a moment of silence for Tony. Thank you. Father, we thank you, Lord, for today, a day of thanksgiving this season is, that we can thank you for all the things we do. We are grateful and appreciative of everything that you've given us the ability to do. And Father, today as we deliberate and negotiate, Father, we just pray that you will be in those deliberations today. Let us respect one another. Let us just put each other persons first, and let us put ourselves on the back burner as we go into today. Father, we are thankful for the staff members around here who step up and just make themselves available to help this county out. And Father, we're so grateful that we can serve you. We ask that you be with us today. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in our pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Harvey, and thank you, Commissioner Goddard. Commissioners, our first item of business on our agenda is approval of the minutes of the July 15, 2019 budget workshop, July 16, 2019 regular workshop, and October 8, 2019 Board of County Commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the minutes as presented.
I'll move the second. Yeah.
Okay, we got a proper motion by Commissioner Harvey and a proper second by Commissioner Rawls. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, item 3, and I'll ask our county administrator, Mr. Suggs, to come to the podium for our election of chairman and vice chairman for next year.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Well, here we are 1 more year. So this is the opportunity that we have today to go ahead and nominate and elect our new chair and vice chair. But before we do that, if I could just take a moment of privilege to let Chairman Pickens know how much it's been a pleasure this year working with you, sir, as the chairman. Not only have you been extremely professional, but you have been very helpful in my task and meeting with me on a regular basis. So I hope that trend continues as we move forward here. Just want to take the opportunity, sir, to publicly say thank you.
Thank you.
Just a quick review of the process, if we would. I will serve as moderator. The moderator will open the floor for nominations, and nominations do not require a second. If only one name is placed in a nomination, the moderator will ask for a motion to close the nominations and elect that nominee by acclamation. A second to that motion, and a vote will follow. If more than one name is placed in a nomination, the moderator will ask for a motion to close the nominations. A second to the motion, and a vote will follow. The moderator will then ask for a show of hands in support of the nominees in order in which they were nominated. The moderator will acknowledge the newly elected chairman. Then we'll do the second part of this process, which is a same process we'll follow for the nomination and election of a vice chair. So, Mr. Chairman, I would like to go ahead and open up the floor for any nominations for Chair of the Board of County Commissioners for 2019 and 20.
I'd
Mr.
like to
Moderator?
nominate
Go ahead, go ahead.
Commissioner Turner.
We have a motion on the floor for Commissioner Turner.
Second, but we don't need a second.
Okay, any other motions? Hearing no motions, I'll go ahead and close the nominations, and we'll ask for a vote of acclamation, so I'll need a motion and a second.
I make a motion. We approve Commissioner Turner to be our new chairman.
And I'll second.
Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
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 Congratulations, Commissioner Turner. Now Chairman Turner.
You've been a fine chairman. Hang on.
As, before we move forward with the elections, I'd like to take a moment to offer one of my closest friends for 35 years or longer, his gavel for being chaired last year. Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, we're gonna get a picture. Keep coming around.
Again, congratulations, Chairman Turner. Now, fellow commissioners, we'll open it up at this time for nominations for a vice chair. Do I have a motion for a vice chair?
I'll make the motion that we nominate Commissioner Larry Harvey as vice chair.
We have a motion for Larry Howard. Do we have any other nominations? Seeing no other nominations, we'll close nominations, and we'll ask for an approval by acclamation. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept Mr. Harvey as our vice chair.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Very good. Congratulations, Vice Chair Larry Harvey.
Can we recess for 3 minutes while we restructure?
Yeah, are we done now?
Yes, sir. I was just going to make a comment or two, but you feel free, sir. You are the chairman.
I would like to just do a recess and let everybody shift.
That would be fine, sir. So
Okay.
while you're recessing, that would be good. I'll just make a couple of comments while you're doing that. This doesn't need to be on the record or anything. Just wanted to say congratulations and looking forward to another great year. I know I'm looking forward to your leadership. I've been around you long enough now to know that you will do a great job, and I'm looking forward to our relationship growing even further. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Terry. Get all
Where do you want to
shifted.
talk?
Well, I think you need to get here,
All right.
right?
Yeah,
You're gonna read that.
yeah, but I'm gonna read it from here. You're gonna go up front and give it to him.
Laura did that when you weren't.
But you put yours upside down.
You wanna sign this, the last outgoing document?
For your first incoming.
I believe it is.
Okay, all these are gonna not be right now. I guess we can set them up.
Well,
for everybody.
Jacob will fix it.
Okay.
Today I can be you. Scary.
May or may not be fun. Okay. Okay, we'll reconvene the meeting.
Mr. Chairman, could I take a moment of personal preference for just a second, for a minute?
Sure.
Okay. First, I'm going to address the public here and the citizens of of Putnam County and just tell you how honored I am to serve as county commissioner and how honored I was to be chairman for the past year. We had our challenges, but we worked through them, and I just want to tell the citizens of Putnam County and everybody that's here how proud I was to serve. I'll start with staff, department heads, the county administrator, deputy administrator, budget director, constitutional officers. Truly, it was an honor to serve you and work with you this past year. We have tremendous individuals working for Putnam County, and I have seen the best in the last 3 years I've been commissioner. Commissioners, I just want to tell you how much I enjoy serving with each and every one of you. We had our challenges this year. We had a few spirited meetings, but I believe it was energy, positive energy, that needed to be out and discussed. And I think we're working very well together. Our meetings are very interesting, a lot of debate, discussion, great ideas, and thinking out of the box solutions for Putnam County. And it's truly an honor. And congratulations to Commissioner Turner. You'll be a great chairman, and Commissioner Harvey as vice chairman. Thank you for allowing me this time.
Commissioner Pickens, one comment. Would the word synergy be better used than energy?
What now?
Wouldn't the word synergy be better used? than
Synergy,
energy?
yes.
It's a shameless plug.
Exactly.
Little
Commissioner, can I say something? Would you mind if I have a moment, Mr. Chairman? You have been, your demeanor through this last year, and again, trying to herd 5 type A personalities, it's difficult. And trying to run the business of the county as chairman, you did a remarkable job. You're a statesman, not a politician. You're actually that gentleman that, with the soft-spoken, but you can be firm when you need to be. But I've seen nothing but good things come from you. And it's a pleasure for me to serve with you just as much as it is for you to serve with us. But I look forward to it. Now, I realize today you're just back to be a commissioner, and you probably got a full agenda because you've been doing everybody else's agenda. But Commissioner Pickens, I'm honored to serve with you, and I thank you for your leadership in the past year.
Thank you. And I'm actually sitting in the chair that I started in 3 years ago, so I'm making my rounds.
Okay. Next, we'll move on to presentations. Item 4A, a proclamation for National Hospice Month, and Mr. Pickens, Commissioner Pickens, is going to read the proclamation. Who is here today? Crystal, would you meet me at the podium, please?
Putnam County Proclamation number 2019, National Hospice and Palliative Care Month, November 2019. Whereas for 40 years, Haven has helped provide comfort and dignity to thousands of people in North Florida, allowing them to live their last months, weeks, or days comfortably with the people they love. Whereas Haven utilizes an interdisciplinary, team-oriented approach to treatment, including expert medical care, quality symptom control, and comprehensive plan management as a foundation of care. Whereas beyond providing physical treatment, Haven attends to the patient's emotional, spiritual, and family needs and provides family services like respite care and bereavement counseling. Whereas Haven provides community-based palliative care, which delivers expertise to improve quality of their life and relief from pain and can be provided at any time during an illness. Whereas an increasing fragmented and broken healthcare system, hospice is one of the few sectors that demonstrates how healthcare can and should work at its best for its patient. Whereas every year 1.5 million Americans living with life-limited illnesses and their families receive care from the nation's hospice programs in communities throughout the United States, including Haven where Havens is advocate and educator about advanced care planning that helps individuals make decisions about the care they want. Whereas the Centers for Medical and Medicaid Services have pledged to put patients first in all of its programs, including hospice, ensuring coordinated and patient-led approach to care, protecting patients' choice and access to individualized service based on a patient's unique care needs and wishes. Now therefore be it resolved that the Putnam County Board of County Commissioners do hereby proclaim November 2019 as National Hospice and Palliative Care Month, encourage citizens to increase their understanding and awareness of care at the end of life, discuss their end-of-life wishes with their families, and observe this month with appropriate activities and programs. Done, ordered, and adopted this 26th day of November 2019. Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt this proclamation.
Second. Have a motion and we have a proper second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, and proclamation passes. Thank you.
I just want to take a second to thank you for always allowing us to come out in November and receive the proclamation on behalf of National Hospice and Palliative Care Month. But I did want to also take this time to just let you guys know that Haven is celebrating our 40th year this year. So I want to thank the county and the community for allowing us to be here and to take care of and serve the patients and the families in this community for 40 years. So thank you.
Chairman, do you want to get a picture with Crystal? Laura's.
We did over here, but yeah, we can. Hey, Crystal, before you leave, can we get a picture also, please?
Laura was ready.
Crystal, stand by me so you look pop it.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Whoa, whoa.
I was wanting to sit down in your seat.
That's funny.
Okay, we had an addendum on the, sent out to us for the Conoco building, which was the old magnet building. They had asked that we talk about a deed restriction that's on it, but it has been determined it's a Port Authority issue. A Port Authority meeting was not called today, or not advertised for today, and so unless Conoco comes back to us and says it's an extreme urgency, we need to kick this item off to the 10th of December meeting. Do I need a motion for that, Terry, or just move it to the December 10th meeting?
We can just pull it from the agenda, sir, the addendum from the agenda, move it to the December 10th Port Authority meeting.
Okay, without reservation by the commissioners, we'll pull.
Fine.
Okay.
No problem.
Next item on the agenda is the public comment. This portion of the agenda is designed to allow citizens an opportunity to bring matters to the attention of the board. It is not reasonable to expect the board will engage in debate or deliberation about matters which the board has received no prior information as part of the agenda. Please limit to 3 minutes. Public comment cards are conveniently placed in the meeting room entrance and should be submitted prior to the meeting to the deputy clerk, who sits to the right at the podium, Sarah. Thank you. I have Nicole Grace.
It is so quiet in here. Why?
Very professionally quiet. Good morning. My name is Nicole Grace. I'm with Keep Putnam Beautiful, and our address is 205 North 2nd Street in Palatka, Florida. I wanted to note that Keep Putnam Beautiful is pleased to be in 2 parades this year. The City of Palatka Christmas Parade this Friday at 7 p.m. is when it starts, and that's November the 29th. And we're also going to be in Interlochen Christmas Parade on December the 7th, and I think that starts at 6:15?
6:10, somewhere
6:10,
there.
okay.
Whenever
I was
dark
pretty
is.
Right, well, and it light up Christmas, so that's wonderful. Our theme for this year actually connects with an ongoing campaign, and I don't know if y'all heard about the lady in California that was impaled with the pipe. My husband came home and told me about it, but that is part of the reason our DOT is really focused on Secure Your Load campaign. So
Good deal.
this will be, I have to get Dave's tops and trims to get me another. But not only is litter annoying and not a great thing to have on your roadways, it can be very dangerous. I think there were 2 I found in Jacksonville that, I guess Duval County, where they had 2 instances where a ladder came off of a truck and the car went, yeah, that is my nightmare, but it went over the bridge. So it can be very dangerous. And it's not always the people that own the trucks. I was in Walmart's parking lot, and someone walked by a pickup truck, had something in their hand, dropped it into the back of the pickup truck, and continued walking. It wasn't even theirs. So that person that's driving that truck is now responsible for something, and I'm sure it was a small item that they put in there, but they're responsible for that. So the idea is you know, a reminder to secure your load, and no one wants to lose their Christmas presents out the back either. So it's a good time to bring it up. But thank you very much, gentlemen and ladies.
See you
Thank
then.
you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else present today that would like to speak under public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Item number 6, Commissioners, I'll start with Commissioner Pickens,
I have none.
Mr. Harvey,
I have none, sir.
Mr. Rawls,
Item J for discussion, and K, please.
Mr. Goddard.
I have none.
Okay. Do we have a motion to move the consent agenda except for items J and K?
I'll make a motion for A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, that we move to accept the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a proper second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item J, Commissioner Rawls.
I just had a question. Ms. Patel, this is the result of a shortage, correct?
Well, a budget is a plan.
Right?
And Fleet did more billable work this year than we anticipated, which caused them to have more revenue and more expense. And the budget was less than the amount of expense, so it was necessary to amend the budget.
Okay, and that's the $100,000 that,
Yes, sir.
okay, what was their, just if you have it in front of you, what was their total budget last year?
I don't
Prior
have
to
it in
the
front of
adjustment?
me. I
Okay.
have no idea.
I just wondered what percentage it is, and then the next question that comes to mind is this a result of running older fleet equipment? You know, should we be looking at changing stuff out? Maybe we're spending the money already that we would pay for new equipment, but doing it in the form of repairs and,
I'm sure if we upgraded old fleet to new fleet, our costs would go down.
okay. That was all I had.
Would you care to move that item forward?
Yeah, I'd make a motion, we go ahead and approve it.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a proper second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item K, Commissioner Rawls.
I'd like to see if we could move that to a workshop for this afternoon. We can have some discussion about it. There's no backup documentation, and I've got several questions regarding this.
Whatever is I'd just like to say one thing, and that's fine with me if that's what the commission wants to do, but I just want us to make sure that one thing, that our only decision on this item is do we want to vacate it or just not do it, not do any of the items at all. And that's our only decision that we're here to make today. But if the commission wants to move it to workshop, that's what is the will of the commission?
Could I, Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
Did you have any particular question on any of these items? Because most of these items we've already been over.
We're terminating contracts.
Yes.
I'd like to know what the reason for termination is. I think I know why. I've tried to make inquiries. I've been told that there's a gag order, and, you know, I can't make a decision without having information as to why we're doing something. So I think it'd be better to work through this in a workshop.
I wasn't
Or we
aware.
can do it right now.
I was not aware of a gag order. I guess I'm kind of confused because everything I've asked, Mike has pretty much cleared up
I was
on.
told not to talk to staff, that there was a gag order issued.
Okay,
That was
I'm not,
came from the county
I'm not
administrator. So
aware
I-
of a
You know, if
gag
we can
order.
discuss it now, we can discuss it later, but,
Chairman, if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind discussing it and be done with it because I think basically it needs to go ahead and be moved.
Whatever the board wants to do. Do y'all want to take would y'all weigh in? Do y'all want to take it to workshop, or do you want to just go ahead and discuss it now?
Mr. Chairman? May I?
Yes, please.
My understanding was that we were going to talk about these projects, once they're really vented out properly at a future meeting. So I'm not opposed to that. I've got I'm with Commissioner Rawls. I've got some projects that were brought up that, you know, I thought we needed. We got some that were of critical that are on here, but I trust our staff to make that decision. And I'd like to hear about it at a future workshop. Doesn't have to be done today, but I do think that in the future, you were going to bring that to us.
Yes, one point of clarification on this right here, gentlemen. Mike Nimitz, Public Works. These task orders are, individual little projects. I shouldn't say little per se, but they're projects, standalone projects within the continuing services contract. They have not been proceeded with. A couple of them have had some work, some materials procured for it, but there has not been any real physical work in the field per se on it. So we would like to remove these listed ones from the continuing services contract and proceed forward with advertisement of them and proceed forward with having the work performed, as well as add several other additional projects to the advertisement that we know that need to be done.
Makes sense to me.
And go from there.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Addresses or just-
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, I have a question for Mike. You did say that some had some work.
Minor work for-
Started, where would they fall into it? I understand
Well,
where they had
Boys
work being
Ranch
done.
Road culverts, we've had some culverts delivered, okay, culvert pipe delivered. Campbell Street Drainage, there's been minor work there, culvert pipe delivered there again. Tolles Road outfall, pipe delivered. So termination of these task orders is not going to void any warranty work. I think that's Commissioner Rawls' was primary concern. So it's not going to terminate any warranty work for the work that's been performed by this contractor to date.
Okay.
Okay. I was told that, that the reason there's 13 of these on here is because on some of them, there seems to be a clouded, and maybe not the right word, we're not sure exactly where in the process they were approved or not approved. Some of them's come to the board and some of them may or may not have, and because we don't have a clear paper trail on the whole list of 13. So there was a couple of them that were added to the list that we were just in an abundance of caution that we're doing the right thing. So Julie, could you please address?
Yes, sir, that's correct. The item before you today is simply a request to terminate what may be a potential agreement because we have in existence document that are inconclusive. And so what's before you is just a list in an abundance of caution, an inclusive list of all things that are outstanding that have not been completed. We believe that it is in the best interest of the county to terminate these and then to reevaluate all projects in a normal procurement process, just like everything would. So the details of what's still needed or what's not needed is not being brought to you today for discussion, and that's why there's no details on every single project. All that's being brought to you today is the request to terminate it and to put everything back on the table.
I'm good.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
there may be a contract, but it's inconclusive. That's as clear as mud, and, which means we may have recourse. I just, it doesn't sit well with me that we're gonna take a bite out of 13 terminations of contracts, or that may or may not be, without having any, this is what I have regarding 13 contracts. I'm sure there's more than this laying around somewhere that I could see. Again, I think we should bring this up at a later date and discuss it at a workshop where we can get more backup documentation, that's all.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I understood that to be true, that we're going to reevaluate these at a future date, because, and then we're gonna go out through the proper procurement, not the continuation. See, that's been the problem that's given us all heartburn for years, is these continuous contracts that we have in play, and are we getting our money's worth? So I don't need any more explanation, I'm fine, but I will reserve the right that I'd like to see these come back to us. Doesn't have to be today, but in the future meetings, let's go and hash these back out and get these worked out properly.
And agreed, you know, time is of the essence in some of these. The Boys Ranch, again, you know, the Rodman Reservoir's been lowered.
Yeah.
Dry conditions there. The water will begin to rise again in March, so we'll bring this back to the board relatively quickly. Some of these we want to move forward with, they are funded, you know, so these are
And-
very
and
much
that-
still in play.
And Michael, I saw the floor, that's a good example of one. I was in a meeting with Greenways and Trails, and there's a creek that comes up through Caravel area, and a manatee actually swam up that creek area. So I think we need to discuss the protections we can do at that culvert area. But, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, I'd like to move this for approval to terminate these contracts and bring them back at a date in the future, and let's go through them one by one if we have to. So my motion is to terminate the contract.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a proper second.
Under
Any
discussion?
further discussion? Yes, sir.
All right. So last year, about this time, I got a phone call. I think it was last year when we had our Thanksgiving get-together to go to Campbell Street. The request was from the Palatka Housing Authority regarding some driveways that were collapsing. I remember sitting in a meeting where we discussed the solution, and then later on, sitting in a meeting where we discussed that the problem was resolved and we put new pipes in, and now it's on here for termination.
To be clear, that project is not on here for termination. That project was executed under a different task order. There was a subsequent task order for Campbell Street that was, no work was ever completed. And again, we, in an abundance of
This is
caution,
Campbell Street drainage. That's what we
with
talked.
task
that was
number
the-
27, sir, task number.
I don't know. I don't have anything in front of me. This is the
on your
frustrating
paper.
part.
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to
All
lead
right,
you through it.
So what would help me is if I could see the task order, see what the scope of work was, what was done. Did we do drainage work or no?
Not on task number 27. Nothing has been done on that task order.
Then what were
That's
we told
why
was
we are
done?
requi-
What were we told? At one point, we were talking about taking a shotgun in there and shooting alligators if they had to, and
Those projects are not up for discussion on this agenda item. All that's up for discussion is the request to terminate the contracts that
I'll
had
tell
no
you
work
what,
on
I
them.
can't get where you guys are in your comfort level. Y'all know a lot more than I do if you're able to vote for this, so I'll be a no vote, but let's go ahead and get it over with.
Okay. One under discussion, I'd just like to make the comment that these projects are not being done away with. They're just being rebid under the proper procurement methods out of abundance of caution. So that's how I got there. They're not asking us to do away with the projects. They're asking us to make sure they're procured properly under current procedures.
I'd like to know what happened, I guess is the point. If I'm looking at Campbell Street drainage, but it's not Campbell Street drainage, it's Campbell Street drainage, because the Campbell Street drainage that was worked on, I don't know what it was.
Well, Commissioner, I'm sure that if you would take the time to go meet with Mrs. Young, she would be more than happy to let you know whatever you want, because it's not secret. The point is, they're asking to vacate the 13.
Right.
And redo the bids. They're not asking to do away with the project, they're asking to redo the bids. I understand where you'd like to go with this, but we're not going there this morning. So I would really like to call for the question. All in favor, say aye. Yeah, I'm going to pass by our 10 o'clock certain this morning, and we're going to move on to the clerk of court for any comments he may have at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have any clerk of court comments, but I would also like to add my thanks to former Chairman Pickens for his service. I know over the year, when we had questions or issues, that he was always available, made time available for us, and we thank him for that, and we're looking forward to working with you and your chairmanship. And as I look out and I see President Pickens here, and I think about Holly Pickens, you know, what a great family that is, and they're really just true servants of Putnam County, and I'm so thankful that they're here. I'm thankful that they're my friends, and I look forward to working with them on many projects in the future. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Tim, or Mr. Smith, I guess. Sorry, you're always Tim to me. Yes, sir, all the time. Okay, we'll move down to board appointments. Commissioner Rawls,
I have done.
Commissioner Goddard,
I have none.
Commissioner Harvey,
I have none.
Commissioner Pickens,
I have none.
and I have none for today. We'll move down. We have a few minutes, so Terry, are you prepared to do county administrator comments this early?
Yes, sir. You usually tell me I talk too much, so you want me to fill time or not this
No,
morning?
sir.
So,
We can do a recess in a few minutes. I just didn't want to do one this long.
I understand. And we'll go ahead, we'll talk about a couple of things this morning that I think is pretty much out there that people need to hear where we're at on some projects. As you know, we kicked off the update to the comp plan last Tuesday. So that is going to be an ongoing process for the next 9 to 12 months. And so we'll be systematically and strategically walking through the comp plan to update the elements in that plan to make sure that we grow Putnam County in the way that our citizens would like for us to grow, have good, clean growth, good, clean industry, good housing, job opportunities, and sustainable growth. So some of the stuff that we'll be working on in the next 9 to 12 months. Also, follow up to our latest and greatest strategic planning session. It was held in the great town of Interlochen, and that was our third and final installment of input from our citizens and stakeholders. I think those 3 sessions went extremely well, had a lot of good input, good representation, I think, across the community. And so the next step in the process will be a report that will come from Ms. Marilyn Crotty and the Institute of Government on those 3 individual sessions. You commissioners will receive that report. We will also post that report on our website so all our citizens will have access to it. And then we'll hold our 2-day session the Monday and Tuesday in December. I think it's 15, 16, or 16, 17, whatever that Monday, Tuesday is. And we'll be holding that meeting in here. And what we'll do is we'll reconfigure some tables up front here for the commissioners and some department heads, and we'll invite the public to come and sit in for those 2 days if they'd like. Ms. Marilyn Crotty will run that as a facilitator and give us all our marching orders and our duties and responsibilities, and hopefully what will come out of that will be a workable plan for the next several years. So, you know, it'll be a living, breathing document just like our budget is, and it can be amended. But we hope to come out of this with some really attainable goals that will benefit Putnam County and our citizens for years to come. It will have built-in goals and objectives and measurables so we can track where we are and amend as we need to. So I think those are some of the things that we're looking forward to moving forward here. So, you know, and lastly, Mr. Chairman, Chairman Turner, just want to say again, it's been a great year. You know, it's always a pleasure serving U5 as well as our citizens and our constitutionals. You know, and working with our great staff. This is a time of year we're supposed to be thankful and give thanks. And I will tell you, without any hesitation, that it's been an outstanding year for Putnam County. I think we're on the cusp of good things. I think we're poised to see great things happen here. We're gaining a lot of traction not only locally, but in Tallahassee as well as D.C. And your support in those things is certainly second to none, and is recognized. We went to D.C., 3 of us went to D.C., and it was very much recognized that Putnam County was in the house. And it's making the projects that we're pushing a little easier to attain, I hope. And but before I close this morning, I want to say thank you to all the great staff that I have and the support of our citizens that call my office and pass along the good things as well as the bad. But none of this would be possible without any of the staff that we have here today. And you see them sitting here every Tuesday in the audience, ready to answer any questions that you may have of them. They're dedicated, they're professional, and they're very good at what they do. And I couldn't be more proud of my staff. And lastly, I want to give a personal thing. I want to thank my family for their support for allowing me to do what I do. Without their support, this would not be attainable. So, Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Suggs. We'll move on to the county attorney. Do you have anything for us this morning? Lawyer Joe?
Only a few remarks. I just, obviously this won't be my last meeting, but I do want to take the opportunity of Thanksgiving to thank the board and thank Mr. Suggs and Mr. Reynolds and all members of the staff for the opportunity to be able to work with them over the last 5 months. It's been a wonderful experience. You got a great county here, and it's been an honor to be county attorney for Putnam County. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And I'd just like to say, I know you're leaving us, but we're going to miss you. In the short time you've been here, you've become an integral part of the team, and we appreciate that. I even appreciated the 59-page rebuttal I got on the simple question, but there was absolutely no doubt whatsoever when we got done that I was wrong and you were right.
You read every page too, didn't you?
I did, every page I read it.
And Mr. Turner, or Chairman Turner, just so you know, I went ahead and passed along to Monroe County the moniker that you gave him the first day he was here, and I believe that probably will stick down south as well. So,
A good deal. We have 15 minutes before our time certain public hearing. I think I'll wait for commissioner requests until after, if that's okay with the commissioners, and we'll recess until 10 o'clock.
Congratulations.
On the zoning map amendment. Mike Brown, thank you.
Mr. Chairman and Commission, this is a rezoning request, R19-005. The applicant is Randall S. Matthews, Inc. Agent is Mr. John Sammons, and the request is a zoning district change from R3 multifamily to commercial general C3. Property is located at 327 South Highway 17 in East Palatka. The future land use of the two parcels is urban reserve. Just brief background, as I indicated, there's 2 parcels included in this rezoning, totaling 4.04 acres. There's approximately 435 feet of frontage on US Highway 17. And according to the county GIS, one of the parcels does contain some wetlands and areas within the AE special flood hazard area. Here's a aerial showing you the location of the 2 parcels. That is Elsie Drive, just to the north of the 2 parcels. And they are situated between US Highway 17 and the St. Johns River. As I indicated earlier, the future land use is urban reserve with commercial land uses to the north and across 17 to the east. Current zoning is R3. We do have C4 zoning to the north, C3 zoning across US 17, and C2 to the south. Should the rezoning be approved, the zoning map would be changed to change those 2 parcels to C3. One of the things we look at in all rezonings is consistent with the comprehensive plan. The urban service land use category consists of areas where urban type infrastructure has been provided or will be provided. As you are aware, the county has invested in water and sewer into this area, which this project will tie into. Neighborhood commercial and community commercial uses are allowed within the urban service future land use category. Existing zoning is R3, which is multifamily residential with a maximum of 6 dwelling units per acre. The proposed is changing to a general commercial C3 zoning district, which is defined as a mixture of light and medium intensity commercial uses that require immediate access to a major or minor arterial roadway. In analyzing the change, staff finds that, as I've indicated, the future land use is urban service, and C3, the commercial general, is consistent with and allowed within the future land use designation. There is direct access to US Highway 17 with a permitted driveway. US 17 is a 4-lane divided principal arterial with adopted level of service D. It is presently operating acceptably in the PM peak hour and during the daily. The surrounding uses are primarily a mix of different intensities of commercial uses, with C4 to the north, C2 to the south, and C3 across Highway 17. As I've indicated, the county has made investments in water and sewer into this area to support development. The impacts to the wetlands will be mitigated through the appropriate agencies and the required setbacks that are found in the comp plan and the land development code. And any development that is completed or done within the special flood hazard area will be required to be elevated among the base flood elevation. Staff finds that the requested rezoning to C3 is consistent with the comprehensive plan and the goals, policies, and objectives of that plan. It is consistent with the locational requirements for the C3 zoning district found in the Land Development Code. And staff finds that the proposed C3 zoning is compatible with the surrounding uses. At its October 9th, 2019 hearing, the Planning Commission unanimously recommended amending the zoning map from R3 to C3 Commercial General for the subject 2 parcels. Staff recommends approval of the request to amend the zoning map change from Residential 3 to Commercial General C3 for the subject parcels. Do you have any questions of staff at this point?
Any questions of staff? Yes, Commissioner Rawls?
Mike, as we discussed earlier, on page 5 of 6 of the application, which is our page 81 in our agenda, I think just for record-keeping purposes or housekeeping purposes, you need to get that cleaned up.
We will clean up that agent form. I apologize, staff just didn't catch those discrepancies, but we'll get that cleaned up for the record.
That would be my only concern.
I think that's an excellent idea. That's nothing that would prevent us from moving forward, is it?
No.
Okay,
No.
all right. Is there any more questions at this time? If not, is there anybody present that would like to speak in favor of this application?
Good morning.
Good morning.
John Sammons, 105 Blackjack Circle, Hollister, Florida. I'm the agent for Mr. Matthews and Mr. Pepper, who's actually going to do the property. We're in agreement with the staff. I can answer any questions you may have.
I just got a comment. I think it's a long time coming.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really good project.
Is it going to be lean-to style roofing? Will it be a roof on top of the fourth
Yes.
tier?
Yes.
Okay. And eventually, will you be dispensing fuel?
No.
Wow.
Well, I agree with everything you're saying. I just need to make sure that we understand that we're not here today to
Yeah.
discuss the specific project.
Correct.
All we're here to do is anything that's allowed in C3, would it be proper for that area? So I'm with you. Long time coming, but by the same token, we're here today to discuss see what's allowable in C3, and I'm absolutely with you. I think it's a Good deal. The chair will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept this amended zoning map residential, changing it from residential R3 to commercial C3.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, John. Thank you, Mike. And I think before we finish out with commissioner comments, I think, Terry, did you say you had another issue you wanted to discuss?
No, sir, I don't have an issue, but it was brought to my attention, and it's something that I think I need to really clarify and take care of here this morning. You know, last year when we did the election of the chair and the vice chair, Commissioner Goddard was the chairman. In my outgoing comments, I said that when anyone asked me in the public about my 5 elected officials and who is my favorite elected official, my response was they're all in my top 5. I enjoy working for all of them. But as Commissioner Goddard was going out of chair, I let him know that he was my #1 chairman for that year. And unfortunately for me this morning, I guess I set a precedent last year, and outgoing Chairman Pickens reminded me of my comments. And so, you know, thank you for the opportunity to take care of that, Mr. Chairman. And so I would like to remind Chairman Pickens that as of today, for the last 12 months, you have always been my favorite chairman, sir, for the year. And
Thank you.
I think you've done an outstanding job, sir, and I look forward to the outstanding job you're going to continue doing, sir. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, thank you for that. I'm going to take a point for being chair here, and I'd like to go first on comments today, if y'all don't mind.
You have the gavel.
You got the gavel, right?
You're the man.
I appreciate y'all electing me chairman today, I do. But more so, I appreciate the other people that have been chairman in front of me, and the task that they did and what they did. It's an honor to follow my friend Bill Pickens. And it'll be a trial to do a job as good as he does, or as good as he's done. So, thank you again for trusting me to sit in this chair. And with that, I'm going to move into other commissioners' comments, and I'm going to start with Commissioner Rawls.
Just want to say that I did follow Mr. Goddard's advice and went out to Mud Springs in Palatka. We went out with the Cub Scouts and my son's troop and went on a hike out there. It's very interesting. There's a gentleman there that gave us some information and history on the St. Johns River regarding fossils. He's out there digging on a blue whale that has a 12-foot long mandible, which is the lower jawbone. And he had a lot of other fossils. He just kept everybody intrigued for probably a good 20, 25 minutes, if you can imagine that. But otherwise, this is Thanksgiving week, and we do have a lot to be thankful for as a community. And just want to say that you know, we need to look out for the ones that are less fortunate than ourselves this week, and consider giving, feed the need. They're moving things along at a really good pace and taking care of a lot of the need here. But then we also have the students that will be going home for a long weekend that are less fortunate. So if you would keep them in your prayers and in your daily giving.
Thank you, Commissioner Rawls. Commissioner Goddard.
Yeah, I'm gonna carry on with that one, because we are a great community. Anytime I've seen anything happen detrimental, this county pulls together and is just astounding on the things they do. With that, if you know someone who is going to be in need Thanksgiving, let one of us commissioners know, honestly, really. We will make sure that that person's taken care of. Somehow, some way, we'll make sure it happens. The other thing I'm going to get to is, as you see, there are so many things to see in Putnam County. I know I say it constantly because, you can go just about anywhere in our county, and there's a new adventure. It really is. But I want to go and I want to say, we are going to miss you, Mr. Dinovo. Lawyer, over to you. Yeah, we're going to miss you too. But Lawyer Joe, and that really does fit him. This man is a Southern gentleman. Look how he dresses, how he carries himself, and he is so detailed. I can understand my partner over here. He is very detailed when it comes to his work. You don't get a page, you will get the entire novel. Yeah, he's very detailed on it, but we are going to miss you, really going to miss you. You've only been here a short time, but you're going to be very well missed. I hope you're going to enjoy it down there. You won't be wearing your suit, you'll be wearing Bermuda shorts and your flip-flops, but we definitely are going to miss you. And as we've made this change, we have a new chairman. Mr. Pickens, really, he took over for me, so everything from there was good. But he has an ability to keep the calm. We do sometimes get out of hand. We don't always agree. That's hard to believe, but we do not always agree. But he did keep everything under control and had a very good meeting. And so I just want to tell you, you did a fantastic job. I'm going to miss you there. I think this man's going to do a great job. And I really, really enjoy being on this commission and being part of what we are getting done. It's so good to see the momentum continuing. We are getting things done that need to get done. And they are hard decisions, but they're getting done, and I enjoy it. And again, I'm thankful. I'm thankful to be in this county. I'm thankful for the people I associate with. I'm very just thankful to be up on this board. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Goddard. Commissioner Pickens.
Thank you, Chairman Turner. Congratulations to you, and I know you'll do a fine job, and also Vice Chairman Commissioner Harvey. Want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and we do have a lot to be thankful for, so I hope everybody gets to spend some time with their loved ones during this week. The Crescent City Lions Club is holding their annual Christmas Bazaar on Friday afternoon and Saturday, December 6th and 7th. I believe the parade will be at noon, gentlemen, and I'll get us a position there if some of you want to come down and ride in the parade. And also the Crescent City Yacht Club, Saturday evening at dark, is going to have a lighted boat parade and also fireworks this year. So that's going to be new with the fireworks. So hopefully everybody can attend. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Pickens. Commissioner Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just learned to turn that on, I guess. I do want to thank everyone for the comp plan. That's going to be one of our greatest accomplishments I think this board's going to see is rewriting that. And Mr. Suggs, I appreciate the leadership you're showing on that, and the moderator. It's been good not having us in the room so the people can speak freely on these visioning committee, but also the comp plan is going to be, I've already mocked mine up and look forward to the day we can bring that out. Commissioners, also yesterday, Kevin Stevens, our interim Parks and Recreation Director, Joe and I drove those 11 lake access lots, and what a beautiful day to be out in Putnam County, to go to some of these boat ramp areas in West Putnam. It was just a gorgeous day. We'll be making a full report to y'all soon on that to give you the advice of Mr. Stevens and the rest of us on that. Last week I was able to attend the legislative conference for Florida Association of Counties in Fort Lauderdale. Commissioner Goddard, you're exactly right. If you haven't been to Fort Lauderdale lately, don't. I'll say that. Traffic is terrible, and when you get on a road that you think you're taking a different shortcut, only to find yourself getting on the turnpike, and there's no way to get off, and there's no cash in your pocket, and there's no way to get cash. And you get into this spider web of interstate that looks like Los Angeles, and you have no idea, and people are honking at you, and you're going 20 miles an hour because you're scared of heights. That's me. So Commissioner Pickens told me correctly that his blood pressure goes down when he hits the Volusia County line on 95, and goes down when he takes the left on 40, and goes down, he's barely pumping blood when he hits Highway 17. You know, so I'm gonna tell you, we take for granted that we're rural, but this is Florida. This is what we enjoy. And our traffic jams are nothing like that. I don't choose to live in that area. And I said all that to say this. One of the biggest contentious moments at the conference was over water policy and what to do with water. And, I know they need water down south, but I kind of stood up and said, but y'all overbuilt, and we haven't, and we have water. And, I'm sorry that you did that. I'm sorry you cut canals and drained your property, but we didn't do that. And one policy doesn't fit all. So we really had to stop the meeting and create a new set of structure for that. And it's going to be more of a regional approach that our association is going to take. December 7th, I will say I'll be in Interlaken that day. And we're going to have our Christmas celebration. The theme is All Roads Lead to Christmas. If you haven't been west, you'll see a 4-lane being built through the town of Interlaken right now. And that's a good thing for us. We're gonna still maintain our little small town area, but we'll have a road that can take us and bring to us commerce. I do want to thank everyone for the ability to serve. I was asked this morning on the radio station, what am I most thankful for? And, the first thing that came to mind, naturally, you can say family and friends and God, and I do. I'm very thankful for that. But I'm really thankful for the ability to work with these commissioners and work for 73,000 people. It's challenging every day. It's different. You go from apples to zoos and everywhere in between every day of the week, but it's rewarding. And it's rewarding to see when you drive down the road and you go, yeah, that project is coming to play and that project's coming in. And yeah, we can slow this one down, and there's things we can do to work together for the good of Putnam County. And I'm just honored to be a part of this, and very thankful. And I want to wish you and your family a very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Harvey. If there's no more business to come before the board, I'm going to recess this meeting until 5:05 this afternoon, when we have a public hearing on the final fiscal year 19 budget amendment. So this meeting is recessed until 5:05.
Good job.
Thank you. Budget, the item is the final fiscal year 19 budget amendment.
Gentlemen, you have before you the final budget amendment for FY19. Do you need me to go over any part of it with you?
I don't. Does anybody else need her to go over it?
I understand what we're doing. I guess my biggest question is, 2 weeks ago, we were given a snapshot of the reserves, and this is obviously going to affect that. Any idea where we're at now? Or
This will not affect the reserves.
this was anticipated? Okay, I'm good.
I'm good.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve adopt the attached budget resolution for FY 18-19, formalizing the previously approved $804,211 and approving the new increase of $217,372.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
Have a motion and a proper second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, motion carries. Before we adjourn the meeting, the administrator would like to talk to us about we met to it in workshop this afternoon. It got by us all, about what the plan is on the new attorney and what we're gonna do in the meantime. So, Terry, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Joe, close your ears, please. But we're going to go ahead and look at doing a national search this time, hire someone to come in and give us some assistance in going out and looking for an attorney for Putnam County, someone that certainly would be qualified, hopefully a great fit, and looking to be somewhere for an extended period of time. So I talked to the chairman about that, talked to procurement about that. I'll get us a quote. The quote will come in most likely under the threshold of either myself or me and the chairman. So I just wanted kind of have a brief discussion on that and kind of let you know where we're going with this, so there won't be any surprises to my Board of County Commissioners when you see a national advertisement out there. So if you have any questions or comments, this will, more than happy to.
Also, if I may.
Sure.
We wanted to bring it to the board that we're going to actually ask for proposals from different firms, invite proposals to come in here and be the interim counsel. One of the firms that Terry reached out to was Senator Bradley's firm out of Clay County. They have a lot of experience in this type of arena, and he's gonna ask for a proposal to come back for the board to review, and I think he's gonna reach out to someone else too, possibly.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to some folks that I think can give us a hand. Certainly have been in some contact already with a couple of folks, and I think it's a step in the right direction to get. I certainly want to bring someone in with a lot of municipal experience. I think that will be key for what we're dealing with right now. There's some folks out there that have that. So what I'll do is probably by the December 10th meeting, bring something in for the 5 elected officials to take a look at, and maybe give some direction on moving forward with a organization for some interim services while we go out for our national search. Okay?
Works for me. Well, with that update, is there any other business to come before the board today? Hearing none, meeting adjourned.